Ashby, and this is Ashby Farms. Located in Burlington, North Carolina, it's now our 5th season, and we are supported by friends, family, and the best community around. Hey friends, this is Ashby with Ashby Farms, and welcome to my snow camp yard down here. So I've got about 25 hives down here, and today we're going to be doing step 1 of splits, which I call day 0. So today's Thursday, next Saturday will be day 9, and then the following Sunday will be day 10, just for reference. So in today, day 0, we're going to come along each hive. We're going to put a board in between the top and bottom box. We're going to put the queen in the top box. And we're going to try and leave ideally 3 to 4 full frames of eggs and larvae, something with eggs for them to make a queen cell on in the bottom box, along with, we'd like to see some pollen on the outside of those egg frames, and we'd like to put 1 frame of honey on the outside, like the number 1 slot on the bottom box. As far as the top box goes, it doesn't really matter. The queen's going to be up there. She just needs a little bit of room to lay, so ideally 1 to 2 sheets of brood, or like capped brood, and that way those populations will explode, and then as they emerge over the next 10 days, then the queen will then have somewhere to lay in that top box. And then of course in 10 days from now, the queen is going to go back into the same configuration she has now, which is 2 5-frame nukes. At that point in time, the bottom box that we replace with, which will be day 9, then that bottom box would just be a bunch of empties along with the top box that the current queen is in, and we'll just kind of shift all the anything honey production wise up to the top box, and then the bottom box will be for the queen. So with that said, the goal is going to be that on day 9 we're going to pull 3 different frames from the lower box with at least 1 queen cell each, and for every frame we have with a queen cell on it, that is going to make us a new split. I make week splits, so at that point in time, we'll be, let's say bottom box has 3 different frames, each with a queen cell on it, and that means we're going to get 3 new hives out of this configuration. So we're going to pull a frame of food, which would be a frame of honey, a frame of brood, which will contain some pollen, and at that point in time, say day 9, we should be seeing a lot of capped brood with all the other cells that are on there, and then as they emerge, and that'll be the new colonies numbers to start out with. And so on that day 9, we're just going to put them right out here in the field, and then day 10, which will be next Sunday, on day 9 we're going to take all of the forager bees, every bee, nurse bee, forager bee, everything in the colony and in that lower box, and we're going to shake it into our splits. We're going to put them to bed that Saturday night. Day 10 is going to be Sunday morning. Any of the foragers that are in those splits are going to come back home. They're going to rejoin with the current queen that's there in a new box. She'll keep on laying, and that'll start working. In the meanwhile, all we'll be left with on that Sunday, day 10, is going to be splits with a queen cell, a lot of nurse bees, and a lot of brood. And the reason that's important is queen acceptance rates of new virgin queens go through the roof whenever you just have nurse bees in there. Forager bees, they want to accept an old queen, not the new queen. So in the night of day 10, being next Sunday night, I'm going to come through after dark. I'm going to get all of our splits, and we're going to take them to another yard in Caswell. I call it my Caswell yard. And then on like day 11, those queens are going to emerge, those queen cells. Those virgins will take flight, they'll get mated, they'll come home, and then we have new hives. Hopefully our acceptance rate goes through the roof because all we have is nurse bees, and of course the emerging brood will turn into nurse bees as well. So that's the plan. So for today, we got to go through all these boxes. Today's day 0, it's a Thursday. Got to go through all these boxes. We're going to put the queen in the top box today, put a board. This Bob Benny does a double screen bottom board, but it's like May the 20th today. Our night times are 60 degrees. We've got an 84 degree day today. I'm already sweating. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's no longer a need to use the double screen bottom board method because you don't need the heat rising from the lower colony to keep the upper box brood warm. Now that's useful earlier in the year, like March, April, cooler May nights. But for now, slide a board in between, and I've got wax bottom boards that I use anyways. So today we'll put that queen up top, put a wax bottom board, In the middle, we're gonna put at least 3 frames of ideally eggs, not capped brood. We wanna look for eggs and young larvae that the bees can, the bees know best. So we're gonna let the bees select which ones to make into queen cells. Of course, all the foragers will come home tonight and they'll go, oh crap, we don't have a queen. And so you've got this massive force of bees that are now queenless starting pretty much this afternoon. And they're gonna start picking the right cells to make into queens. And with that, I don't have to do any grafting. This is kind of the easy poor man's way. Some people call it a dirty split. Some people might call it a walk-away split, but realistically, it's a bottom board split dividing 2 colonies. And of course, we're going to use the workforce of the current colony to help build really good queen cells in the bottom box. All right, guys, so I haven't looked in this hive yet, but there are a bunch of bees out on the front porch, which makes me think this thing may be packed out. Of course, I haven't been back here in 3 weeks, so we'll give them a little bit of smoke. And let them hang out for a minute. While we're doing that, I just want to talk about real quick. It's important to keep the areas mowed around your beehives. And the reason being is it keeps ticks off of you. And by putting down the black weed matting, it stops a lot of the small hive beetle larvae. All right, let's see where these girls stand here. Oh yeah. Always check the tops for the queen. She's not there. A bit of smoke to say hello. So I always come along. I'll go ahead and split the boxes. Put this one here on the ground. And as you can see, we've got white capped honey on both of these. Set that down there. So I've got some brood comb built up on the bottom of this hive over here, what will be the top box. So the goal right now is going to be find the queen. Because I've got, this is all capped out there, we need to give them some room anyways. If we don't, they'll end up swarming. So step 1 over here is going to be getting rid of any of this extra brood. I should say drone brood comb. That. The reason I want to get rid of all that drone brood comb is that drone brood just holds mites, and we're doing as many preventative steps this time of year so that we're not dealing with high mite loads come, August. So anytime I see all this extra drone brood, just go ahead and scrape it, get rid of it. All right, next step's gonna be say hello to these girls. The advantage of running a feeder like this is if we suddenly need to give these girls some room, and just take this out. Make sure to shake off. See, they're even building brood comb on there. Make sure and shake it off in case the queen's down there. Set that down right there. So our goal again in this box right here is going to be to put a queen, a frame of brood, most anything with eggs going in this box. If we need to, we can leave, usually I'll leave an empty frame in each hive. That way the bees have something to do over the next 10 days, which is draw that out. So basically going to do hive inspection right now. The goal of finding the queen. Beautiful frame of brood right there. Capped honey, both sides. Don't see the queen anywhere. With this packed out, you really need to take it easy coming out so that you don't roll the queen. You can kill her on the way out. Yeah, this hive here is just packed out with bees. Here's our queen right here. All right. Man, just got stung. All right. So with this, guys, we now have the queen over here. We want this box to stay packed with bees. That is our main goal. I've been through here. We've got two frames of capped brood. All that is going to emerge here in the next week or so, and that will give the queen a place to lay. So all these bees need in the next 10 days, since they've got their queen, is just 2 additional frames to draw out. That gives them something to do in the meanwhile. Also, then we want to make this hive queenless now and packed out with bees. And even still, so we've got some queen cups going on down here. That won't matter. We're just gonna go ahead and get rid of them anyways. We want these bees to pick which eggs. So again, I got eggs on both sides, good larvae on both sides of this. We're gonna slide this down in here. Real easy so we don't roll any bees. This is like an ideal situation. Hopefully we'll get one queen cell per frame, and that would give us 5 splits. I'll end up pulling some of the resources out of here, pulling resources from other hives. But the long and short is, that is like your ideal split right there. And remember, this is like half of what the bees will be in here tonight, because the field force still has to come home. Let me just show you my point of view right now. This is the field force coming and going. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So there we go. This time of year I'm using these wax strips We're gonna let them draw it out. That's gonna take a lot of resources for them to draw out a full frame, but that's a good thing because that slows them down just a hair. I like to put those on the outside because they tend to draw honey out on the outside. So if anything, I want them to draw that honey so I can cut that out later and give it away to people as a nice way to say thanks. This here looks like got a bunch of hay melted on. It's not a bad thing, honestly. The bees are gonna clean all that up. Next step here is a bottom board. Put concave down right on here. And make sure our entrance here is facing back. Bottom entrance faces forward. Right now I've got a piece of screen over it, so I'll have to remove that here in a minute. I just fold this screen back here, and I just use one of those staples to hold it in place. That also gives the bees a kind of a place to land on. So now just to review, we've got this middle board separating the two colonies. All the field force come home tonight. They'll say, oh crap, we got no queen. They're gonna make a bunch of queen cells. This is gonna be a great split. So guys, I'm Ashby, it's Ashby Farms. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I thank you guys for watching my show. Have a great day.